Okay, today we're going to talk about angles that are formed by groups of lines, and those angle pairs are going to have names, and then they also have certain relationships amongst each other. So let's start off by drawing a picture of just two horizontal looking lines. They don't have to be parallel. And then a slanted vertical line that intersects them both. And we're going to call the top horizontal line L, the bottom one M, and then the slanted line N. And we just created 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 angles. Okay? The two horizontal lines intersected by the vertical looking line. We created 8 angles. So the first definition that you need to get is that let's see, kind of running out of, well, I'm just going to move up a little bit. A line that intersects two or more lines is called a transversal. A transversal. In that picture that you just drew, or the diagram you just drew, all right, line N intersects line L and line M. So in this case, line N, this is called a transversal. And now we're going to number these angles that were formed by this transversal. So starting in this top where N intersects L, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Clockwise, right around the horn. And then where N intersects M, we're going to label these 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now hopefully you remember some angle pair names that you've already learned. Angles 1 and 2, they're a linear pair, aren't they? And they sum 180. And angles 1 and 3, anybody remember what those are called? Vertical angles. Remember vertical angles formed by the same lines? 2 and 4 are vertical angles. 2 and 3, what are they called? They're adjacent. What else? Linear pair. Good, good. They form a line, don't they? You see how 5 and 7 are vertical angles? And 5 and 6 would be called a linear pair. What about 6 and 7? They form a line and they're next to each other, so they're a linear pair. So hopefully that's still a little bit fresh in your minds. Okay, so we're going to talk about interior angles first. Interior angles in this picture. All right, you got 4 of them. Interior angles. In this picture, the interior angles are angles 3, 4, 5, and 6. All right, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Those are interior angles. All right, they lie in the interior region between line L and line M. Got some exterior angles. Bless you. Exterior angles in this picture. Since 3, 4, 5, and 6 are interior because they lie between lines L and M, then angles 1, 2, 7, and 8 would be called exterior angles. So 1, 2, 7, and 8. Those are exterior angles. They lie in the exterior region of line L and line M. Consecutive interior. Consecutive interior angles. There are 2 pairs. All right, consecutive interior. So 3 and 6 are called consecutive interior because they are on the interior of L and M and they're on the same side of the transversal. All right, so consecutive interior. You got 3 and 6. That's one pair of consecutive interior. And then your other pair of consecutive interior are 4 and 5. Next pair, they are called alternate interior. Alternate interior. All right, consecutive interiors were on the same side of the transversal. Alternate interiors are on alternating sides of the transversal. So 4 and 6 would be one pair of alternate interior. And the other pair of alternate interior would be?
5 and 3.
Very good. 3 and 5. 3 and 5. 3 and 5. Okay, I'm running out of room, so I don't know if you've still got room around this diagram on your notes, don't redraw it. But I got to redraw this picture. So I still got whatever these are. We had L, M, and N. N is the transversal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, so in relation to this drawing, we've got interior, exterior, consecutive interior, alternate interior, alternate exterior angles. Alternate exterior angles. Alternating sides of the transversal. And in the exterior of lines L and M. So alternate exterior. One pair of alternate exteriors will be angle 1 and angle 7. They're in the exterior of L and they're on alternating sides of the transversal. So we got 1 and 7. So what's the other pair of alternate exteriors if 1 and 7 are one of the pairs?
2 and 8.
Very good, 2 and 8. All right, and finally we've got corresponding angles. And in parentheses next to that, write hold the same position. Hold the same position. I'll explain that here in a second. Okay, looking at those two groups of angles on the wall. You got a group of angles in this red intersection area, right? And then you've got another group of angles in this blue section. You got another group in this blue section. Here's how corresponding angles work. Corresponding angles, they hold the same position in different groups. Okay? So for example, do you see how angle number 1 is in the upper left position in the red group? What's in the upper left position of the blue group? 5. So that means that 1 and 5 are corresponding. So the first group of corresponding angles will be 1 and 5. So what angle corresponds to 2?
6.
Very good. 2 and 6 are corresponding. Somebody give me another pair of corresponding angles. Go.
3 and 7.
3 and 7. Very good. So 3 and 7 are a pair of corresponding. And then what's the last pair of corresponding angles in that picture? 4 and 8. Very good. Is that making sense to you guys somewhat, some way, somehow? A little bit?
Yeah.
Now, of course, the first thing the book will do will change the positions of the lines. And they'll make the transversal more vertical. So in this case, let's take a look at L, M, and N. And we're going to label these 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, so let's start off with some interior angles. Interior angles in this picture. Anybody want to give it a shot? Interior angles. Go ahead.
It would be 2, 3, 5, and 8.
Very good. 2, 3, 5, and 8. Let's do some. Let's get another volunteer for some exterior angles. Yes, sir. 1, 4, 6, and 7. Good. Consecutive. Interior. Mr. Bird, consecutive interior.
2 and 5, 3.
Very good. 2 and 5. 3 and 8. What was next? Alternate interior. Alternate interior. Somebody else want to volunteer? Help me out here a little bit. Someone that hasn't already volunteered. Maybe somebody from the quiet side of the room. Alternate interior. Yes, ma'am.
1 and 8.
Let's look at, all right, 8, yes, but interior got to be between L and M. What's very good. 2 and 8, right?
Yep.
And what's the other pair of alternate interiors? Alternate interiors, Kathleen. 3 and 5. Very good. 3 and 5. 3 and 5. Everybody see it? Alternating sides of the transversal in the interior of lines L and M. Alternate exterior. Alternate exterior. Kara?
Okay. 1 and 7.
Very good. 1 and 7. All right, and if 1 and 7 are one pair of alternate exterior, what's the other pair? Good. 4 and 6. Well done. Okay, and lastly, the last type of angles we talked about are corresponding. I'm going to pick the first one, and then I need somebody to give me the second one. Okay? And remember, corresponding holds the same position in the blue group as it does in the red group. Holds the same position. Corresponding holds the same position. What holds the same position as 1?
5.
Excellent. 1 and 5. What holds the same position as 4?
8.
Good. What holds the same position as 2?
6,
Good. And what holds the same position as 3?
7.
Excellent. Okay. All right. So all you did today was identified angles. Identified angles. That's all we're going to do today, because if you can't identify angles throughout the rest of the year, unfortunately, you can't apply any rules. So that's all we're going to focus on today. And then tomorrow we got to connect rules to these types of angles. And let's see. So today your practice, all right? Your practice is going to be page 174. Down on the bottom of 174, I want 2A through 2D. 2A through 2D. On 175, page 175, down on the bottom, 5 through 8. And that's it. That's it. Make sure you check headline for homework.